Between the events of Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne and World of Warcraft, the Night Elves, or Kaldrai, sided with the Alliance, making them enemies of the Horde. But, what if the Night Elves joined the Horde instead of joining the Alliance? Why did the Night Elves join the Alliance in canon, and what stopped them from joining the Horde? While we don't know precisely when the Night Elves joined the Alliance, we know it was between Frozen Throne and World of Warcraft. As for why, it was because the Horde's continuous logging operations in Ashenvale, in what has become known as Warsong Gulch. So, simple. Would the Horde ceasing their logging before it was too much for the Kaldrai be enough? No. There was still a lot going on against the Horde's favor. For starters, before the arrival of the Alliance and Horde in Kalimdor, the Kaldrai were a xenophobic species that wanted Outlanders to stay away from their forest. They had everything they wanted within their borders, and their land provided everything for their immortal population. They only ventured outside to stop distant threats that could become continental, if not worldwide, such as the Silithid Asilithus. Even if the Horde stopped logging, there's still Outlanders who killed many Kaldrai, have evidence of demon corruption on their skin, attracted Manaroth into Ashenvale, drank from his blood, and killed the demigod Cenarius, paving the way for the Alliance, the Scourge, and the Burning Legion to also invade Ashenvale. What needs to be different so the Night Elves can join the Horde? We could change it so the Orcs don't initially drink the blood of Manaroth on Draenor, but that would be another scenario. Instead, let's fast forward to landfall in Warcraft Reign of Chaos. Thrall lands in Kalimdor, gathers the Orcs and Darkspear tribe, meets Cairn and the Bloodhoof Tauren, and helps the Tauren. He helped the Tauren so much that he delivered them to their promised land. But what if Cairn tags along? Now, Cairn is there when Thrall meets up with Grom Hellscream again. Events play out much the same, but with Cairn there to advise Thrall to keep his friend close. So, Grom and the Warsong clan tag along, with Thrall keeping a tight leash on them. Orgrimmar City wasn't assigned to the Warsong clans to build, but was instead built using Tauren building techniques, elevators, and tenting on the high cliffs of its canyons. Do they still need wood? Yes. They advised the Horde to log from Ashara's forest instead of Ashenvale. From their new clifftop built city, it's easier for them to access Ashara anyway. Meeting with the Prophet may open Grom Hellscream's eyes. We've never seen the two of them interact. A Grom Hellscream, completely purged of the blood of Manaroth, was apologetic and cooperative with Thrall. So, a Grom confronted with the truth of what he did from the Prophet, and with Thrall there with him, could be enough to allow Grom to accept the truce between the Alliance and Horde to stop the Burning Legion. Speaking of the Legion, they will invade anyway, but the difference is that the Orcs aren't there to pave the way. There are no Chaos Orcs to kill Cenarius using the blood of Manaroth. A Grom in his prime will also defeat Manaroth, possibly not needing to sacrifice his life, akin to his alternate universe version, killing Manaroth. Cenarius is there to meet in battle with the demons. While no other wild gods can help him, he'll be enough for the Burning Legion's lieutenants. Now, the stage is set for the Orcs to be seen in the most favorable light by the Kaldrai. They haven't been logging in the Kaldrai forest. They haven't been killing the Sentinels. They haven't brought Manaroth to the Fellwood. They didn't drink his blood. And finally, they didn't kill Cenarius. By the end of the Third War, it isn't a foregone conclusion that the Kaldrai will join the Alliance, but a 50-50 of joining the Alliance or the Horde. The Orcs aren't threatening their forest. They didn't drink the blood of Manaroth. They didn't welcome the Burning Legion to Ashenvale. They helped defeat Archimonde. And finally, these newcomers are building in their nation next door, a new nation that they can't ignore, but could instead guide as allies. The Night Elves of this timeline, before the events of Warcraft Classic, joined the Horde. What does this mean going forward? This decision could sway the Forsaken away from joining the Horde. With the Alliance, particularly the human refugees from Lordaeron, seeing the Forsaken as abomination, the Forsaken have nowhere and no one to turn to. This decision could sway the Horde from accepting the Forsaken. The Blood Elves could still join the Horde. Before, the Blood Elves were hostile to the Alliance led by Garithos. Later on, the Alliance completely lost the allegiance of the Sindarai to the Illidari. Lord Regent Lorthamar could turn to the Horde for military aid, while in our timeline, Sylvanas Windrunner vouched for Lorthamar. This time, Tyrande could vouch for the Blood Elves, having been sympathetic to them during the events of Frozen Throne. The knock-on effect is that the Alliance needs a foothold in the northern eastern kingdoms. Alterac is defunct, and Gilneas is isolated from the world. The Forsaken are not an option for allies, since all humans see them as monsters, just like the Scourge. This could lead to the Alliance reaching out to the Scarlet Crusade. In our timeline, the Crusaders were sent limited support, but here, they're sent arms and supplies, with Alliance adventurers attempting to work with the Crusade to retake Lordaeron from both the Scourge and the Forsaken. After one too many adventurers go missing under mysterious circumstances, the Alliance could have a vested interest in investigating their new ally. SI-7 could discover that while distrust of outsiders permeates the Crusade, its source comes from the Grand Crusader Saidan Dathrahan. While they don't know it yet, Saidan Dathrahan is merely the corpse of the Grand Crusader, puppeted by the Dreadlord Balthazar. The turning point for the Scarlet Crusade and the Alliance of this timeline will be at the Battle of Wrathgate, where Crusaders betrayed the Alliance and Horde, launching a repurposed new plague, taking the role of Forsaken's betrayal from the original timeline, in a twist to Varimathras' betrayal of the Forsaken at the Wrathgate. Balnazar, as Saidan Dathrahan, works together with his brother to kill off as many Alliance and Horde leaders, while also galvanizing many of his Crusaders against all outsiders. The raid on the Scarlet Monastery and the siege of Undercity are the same in this timeline, but this time, the Horde has no leverage or incentive to stop the Alliance from wiping out the Forsaken. The Alliance and Horde raid Balnazar and Varimathras' forces, taking back the Scarlet Monastery and finally purging Lordaeron City of the Forsaken. By the end of the Wrath of the Lich King, Kalimdor, except for Theramore, falls under the Horde, while the Alliance reclaims Lordaeron. Both factions have more secure homes, preventing antagonizing skirmishes, but also allowing for more offensive military buildup. With the stage set for the Cataclysm, the matters of mortal factions mean little to Deathwing. And that is where I'll end today's scenario. Greetings, Horde and Alliance. I am Baa'el de Carcossa, your shepherd. I hope you enjoyed today's Warcraft What If with me. If you like this, there's much more waiting in the archives. Look at my other videos for what ifs and coulda beens. My channel is still finding its flock, so your support means everything. Leave a like, tab subscribe, and join the flock. Have a world you'd like to witness? Please leave your ideas in the comments. I'm always eager to spin new yarns with you. Until next time, Slan, agasingat.